She walked into New York's most exclusive hotels, restaurants, and private clubs like she owned them. She carried designer bags, wore expensive clothes, and spoke with a mysterious European accent. She told everyone she was a wealthy German heiress with a $60 million trust fund. She was lying about every single word. Anna Delvey was a nobody from Russia who conned New York's elite out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. She fooled banks, hotels, lawyers, and socialites, and she almost got away with it. This is the Anna Delvey story. Anna Delvey was born Anna Sorokin in 1991 in Domodedovo, Russia. Her father was a truck driver. Her family was working class. There was nothing remarkable about her early life. When she was a teenager, her family moved to Germany. Anna attended school there and developed an obsession with fashion, art, and luxury. She consumed magazines, studied the lifestyles of the wealthy, and began crafting an identity far removed from her modest background. In 2013, she moved to Paris and landed an internship at Purple magazine, a French fashion publication. It was here that Anna Sorokin became Anna Delvey. She invented a persona, a wealthy German heiress with a trust fund worth 60 million euros. She spoke vaguely about her family's money, her European connections, her sophisticated background. And then she took her new identity to New York City. New York in 2016 was the perfect hunting ground for Anna Delvey. The city's social scene rewarded confidence, appearance, and connections. If you looked wealthy, people assumed you were wealthy. If you spoke about money casually, people believed you had it. Anna understood this perfectly. She checked into luxury hotels, she ate at exclusive restaurants, she attended Fashion Week events and art gallery openings. She befriended socialites, artists, and entrepreneurs. She was charming, bold, and mysterious. She spoke with authority about art, design, and European high society. She dropped names casually. She ordered expensive bottles of wine without looking at the price. People were drawn to her. They wanted to know her. They wanted to be associated with this fascinating European heiress who had arrived in their world. None of them suspected that her credit cards were constantly declined, that she was bouncing between hotels, leaving unpaid bills behind, that the $60 million trust fund existed only in her imagination. Anna's cons started small, but grew quickly. She would check into luxury hotels, run up enormous bills for rooms, room service, and amenities, then leave without paying or bounce checks. The 11 Howard Hotel, the W Hotel, the Beekman, the Standard. One by one, she accumulated unpaid bills totaling tens of thousands of dollars. But Anna had bigger ambitions than hotel bills. She wanted to establish the Anna Delvey Foundation, an exclusive arts club that would be housed in a spectacular New York building, a members-only space that would rival the most prestigious cultural institutions in the city. To make this happen, she needed serious money, and she went after it aggressively. She approached City National Bank for a $22 million loan to purchase a building for her foundation. She submitted fraudulent financial documents showing she had millions in European bank accounts. The bank got close to approving the loan before discovering the documents were fake. She convinced Fortress Investment Group to consider a $25 million loan. Again, fraudulent documents. Again, she got further than she should have before the truth emerged. She persuaded her lawyer to wire $35,000 for a private plane charter, promising to repay it. She never did. She convinced her friend Rachel Deloche Williams, a photo editor at Vanity Fair, to put $62,000 on her credit card during a luxury trip to Morocco, promising to cover it from her trust fund. She never repaid it. Rachel later wrote a book about the experience and sold the rights to a Hollywood movie. While her cons were in progress, Anna lived extravagantly. She tipped generously, sometimes $100 bills to hotel staff, paid with bad checks that would later bounce. She hired a personal trainer for $5,000 a month. She stayed in the most expensive suites in New York's finest hotels. She attended exclusive events and cultivated relationships with wealthy, influential people who could help legitimize her foundation plans. She was meticulous about her appearance, designer clothes, expensive sunglasses. The image of wealth was her most important tool. Former friends describe her as confident to the point of arrogance. She never seemed nervous. She never seemed worried about being caught. She acted as though she genuinely belonged in the world she'd created for herself. Some who knew her wondered if she truly believed her own fiction, if somewhere between Anna Sorokin and Anna Delvey, the line between real and invented had completely disappeared. By 2017, hotels and businesses were filing complaints. Banks were comparing notes. A pattern was emerging. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office began investigating. Detectives pieced together Anna's trail of bad checks, bounced payments, and fraudulent documents. In October 2017, Anna was arrested in Los Angeles, where she was staying at a rehabilitation center, not for addiction, but because it was a comfortable place to live while she figured out her next move. She was extradited to New York and charged with multiple counts of grand larceny and theft of services. She hired a high-profile defense attorney. She was particular about her courtroom appearance, reportedly spending $300 on outfits for each day of trial, paid for by Netflix, which had already acquired the rights to her story before her trial even began. The audacity was breathtaking. Anna Delvey's trial in 2019 was a spectacle. She arrived each day dressed immaculately, her outfits carefully chosen for maximum visual impact. She sat in court looking like the heiress she'd always claimed to be. Her defense argued that she genuinely believed her trust fund money would come through, that she had real intentions to repay her debts, that she was a visionary entrepreneur whose plans had simply not worked out. Prosecutors painted a different picture, a calculated con artist who deliberately deceived banks, hotels, and friends for personal gain. Former friends testified. Jessica Deloche-Williams described the Morocco trip, how Anna had convinced her to put $62,000 on her card with absolute confidence that it would be repaid. The jury deliberated. On some counts, they sided with Anna, acquitting her of attempted grand larceny in the bank loan cases, apparently accepting that she genuinely believed the deals might work. But on others, they found her guilty. Anna Delvey was convicted of 8 counts of theft and grand larceny. The total amount stolen? Approximately $200,000. She was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison. While Anna sat in prison, something extraordinary happened. Journalist Jessica Pressler wrote a detailed account of Anna's story for New York Magazine. The article went viral. The story of the fake heiress who fooled New York captured the world's imagination. Shonda Rhimes, creator of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, optioned the rights to Anna's story for Netflix. The deal was reportedly worth $320,000, paid directly to Anna. There was a legal complication. New York's Son of Sam law prevents criminals from profiting from their crimes. The state seized the money to compensate Anna's victims. But the Netflix series Inventing Anna premiered in February 2022 and became one of the platform's most watched shows. Julia Garner played Anna. The show portrayed her as a complex, almost sympathetic figure, a hustler who simply wanted to belong to a world that had been closed to her. Anna watched the series from inside a detention center. She reportedly had opinions about how she was portrayed. Anna Delvey was released from prison in February 2021, having served roughly 2 years. But her story wasn't over. She was immediately transferred to ICE custody, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, because she had overstayed her visa. As a German citizen who had entered the U.S. on a tourist visa, she was subject to deportation. She fought deportation aggressively, arguing she had business interests in the United States and that deportation would be unjust. In 2022, she was released from immigration detention on supervision, wearing an ankle monitor. She moved into an apartment in New York and immediately began rebuilding her public persona. She gave interviews, she started a podcast, she sold art she created in prison, she built a social media following. She became, somehow, a celebrity. In 2024, new immigration proceedings were initiated. The deportation battle continued. Anna Delvey remained, as she always had, at the center of her own story, fighting to stay in the spotlight and in the country she'd chosen as the stage for her greatest performance. The Anna Delvey case raises fascinating questions about identity, ambition, and the nature of fraud. Was she a criminal or a performance artist? A con artist or a visionary who simply used unconventional methods? Some see her as a symbol of the American dream taken to its logical extreme. If you project success with enough conviction, success will follow. She studied the wealthy, imitated them perfectly, and briefly became one of them. Others see a straightforward fraudster who caused real harm to real people. Rachel Deloach Williams spent years dealing with the financial and emotional aftermath of their friendship. Hotels and businesses lost money they were owed. Anna herself has shown little remorse. She's maintained that her foundation was a genuine project, that her intentions were real, that the ends might have justified the means if things had gone differently. This lack of remorse, combined with her continued celebrity, has divided public opinion sharply. To some, she's a folk hero. To others, she's simply a thief. Anna Delvey became a cultural phenomenon in a way that few criminals ever do. She inspired a hit Netflix series. She inspired think pieces about class, ambition, and the performative nature of wealth. She inspired debate about whether society's obsession with appearance and status made her crimes possible, even inevitable. In a world where social media allows anyone to curate a perfect image of wealth and success, Anna Delvey was simply doing in real life what millions do online every day. The difference is she took it further, and people got hurt. Her story remains one of the most compelling cons of the modern era, not because of the amount stolen — $200,000 is modest by fraud standards — but because of the audacity, the sheer nerve of a working-class Russian girl who decided she would be a wealthy German heiress and made the world believe it. Anna Sorokin wanted to be Anna Delvey. She wanted to belong to a world of wealth, art, and sophistication that she'd grown up watching from the outside. She got there. Briefly, fraudulently, but she got there. Now she lives in a New York apartment with an ankle monitor, fighting deportation, giving interviews, and selling her story to anyone who'll pay for it. Is she a criminal? Yes. Is she fascinating? Absolutely. The fake heiress who fooled New York will be telling her story for the rest of her life, and the world, it seems, will keep listening. What do you think about Anna Delvey? Criminal mastermind or misunderstood visionary? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Dark Vault Stories for more shocking true crime and celebrity scandal stories every week.